I remember the moment like it was yesterday. It was one of those perfectly ordinary days where the sun streamed through my office window, and I was peacefully sipping on my hot morning coffee. I had settled into a new routine after my challenging divorce, and I had worked hard to rebuild my life, forging new friendships and carving my path in this world. At 37, I had learned to navigate life's curveballs with a sense of sass, and I was proud of the resilient woman I had become. I had long since decided who I wanted in my life and who I didn't. And then, like a bolt out of the blue, an email appeared in my inbox. The sender's name made my stomach twist. It was Jim. Yes, Jim, my ex-husband's former friend. The very same Jim who, a decade ago, had sliced through the fabric of friendship with a cold stare and an even colder silence. It was at a charity event, one last chance for my ex, where I had expected a friendly face but was instead met with Jim's icy reception. He circled around me as if I were some sort of disease he'd thankfully avoided. I had cared for his pets, shared laughter during game nights, and yet here I was, invisible in their eyes because of a breakup I didn't even want. That night I put on a brave face, but inside my heart felt heavy, shattered into a million pieces by the aftermath of my divorce and the dwindling list of friends. But with time I rose from those ashes. I found love again, a sincere, joyful kind that reminded me that life goes on. I flourished professionally, carving out a space for myself in my career that filled me with pride and accomplishment. And then came Jim's email. I could hardly believe it when I read it. It started innocently enough, full of faux politeness and unexpected friend vibes. "It has been a long time since we've connected. I hope all is well," he wrote with a false charm that oozed disingenuousness. But then he launched into the crux of his request. He had applied for a job at my firm, and guess what? He had put my name down as a referral. As if I would not remember the way he had ignored me like I was a phantom at that event. As if he believed he could rewrite our history with the stroke of an email. I felt a swell of irritation rise within me. WTF, I thought to myself, shaking my head in disbelief. After all those tepid laughs and suffocating silences, how dared he think he could waltz back into my life just because he needed a favor? I revisited the email several times, the insipid plea embossed in my mind. Tempers flared within me as my blood pulsed with indignation. I felt like I was shoved back into that frozen moment in time, confronted by a man who had cast me aside when it was convenient for him, now trying to beg a door open he had long since sealed shut. Each reread felt like an invitation to the punching bag of my past, where I could just see the outlines of betrayal and derision. I resolved to do nothing at first. A part of me wanted to hit reply with a perfectly crafted, cutting response. "Hello, Jim. I hope you remember me as the one you shunned 10 years ago. What makes you think I would want to help you now?" But I held back and I let it simmer. Then reality kicked in, and the thought of him using my name in a ploy sent a wave of indignation through me once more. My dissatisfaction with my past slowly turned into determination. So I did what most rational individuals would do. I picked up the phone and called the HR department at the firm, laying out my case. There was no way I would put my reputation on the line for someone like him. I also informed one of the partners, someone I trusted, sharing how punishingly ironic it was that Jim believed he could waltz back and take advantage of my professional connections. That made us both laugh, and I felt a guilty joy at the thought of Jim's face when he inevitably received the bad news. The vindication washed over me like a cool breeze during an unbearable heat wave. A few days later, I received a follow-up email from Jim. He had learned that my referral would not be forthcoming. The faux politeness had evaporated, and the true Jim re-emerged in all his angry glory. The words dripped with bitterness and resentment as he accused me of holding petty grudges. "If you actually thought of me as a friend, you would have helped me," he spat through his keyboard. "But guess what, Jim? This friendship you supposedly missed. It was dead and buried long ago, and I would not revive it for the convenience of your career." My hands shook in delight as I typed out my response. "Friend, you made it crystal clear those years ago that I was not your friend the moment you walked past me at that event. I owe you nothing." I hit send, satisfaction pooling in my chest like the night sky at the end of a long day. That was the end of it, or so I thought. Months rolled by without another thought of Jim. I was content in my new life, my newfound happiness blooming and brimming all around me. Until one day I received a phone call from a potential client, and surprise, it happened to be Jim. His voice was smooth, but I could hear the underlying panic. He needed my assistance to resolve a critical issue regarding a project he was involved in, and just like that, the tables had turned. My heart raced. Here was a second shot at my revenge, an unexpected curveball tossed my way. I considered my options carefully. I could easily deny him help, relish in his discomfort, and feel justified. But a small part of me, still breathing hope, thought about showing a bit of grace in the face of his desperate request. Ultimately, after a few moments of contemplation, I took the gracious route. I agreed to meet him, but on my terms. We convened in a coffee shop, and for the first time I was unbothered by the past. I listened to his concerns and offered advice rooted in genuine expertise, but each suggestion was laced with a reminder of the past. I watched as he sat across the table, visibly uneasy, aware of the choice I had made. With every word I uttered, I felt a sense of power surge through me. You see, Jim, it's about redemption, isn't it? About learning the value of friendship. His expression shifted, caught between embarrassment and understanding. I made sure he felt every inch of the distance that existed between us, pushing the boundaries of his comfort. Eventually, with lingering unease, he accepted my guidance, and he left, but we both knew I had gotten the better end of this deal. I had transformed a request born of weakness into an empowering moment that allowed me to level the playing field, making it clear that I was no longer the woman he could walk around. I had reclaimed my story and rewritten the script. Days turned into weeks and the dust settled. I think of Jim occasionally, now just a fleeting thought in a grander story of my life filled with fulfilling relationships and exciting endeavors. But I realized something during our exchange. Revenge can manifest in unexpected forms. It's not always loud or flashy. Sometimes it has to be subtle, like planting seeds of awareness in others. The passage of time matured my thoughts, and I found newfound compassion deep within for those who had wronged me, even if they never realized how they wounded me. I knew where my worth resided, and Jim's need for me to validate him held no power over me, except as a reminder that my past woes could effortlessly fuel my strength in the present. And while Jim may never know the extent of my revenge, I can confidently say that my heart was never shattered again. So here's a thought for you. Have you ever felt the impulse for revenge? Did it lead you to reclaim your power, build your character, and unveil the strength you buried deep? Life continually presents us opportunities to rewrite our narratives, and those stories can redefine who we are. So what will you do with your unrevealed strength? What can transform your trials into triumphs? What was your favorite part of this incredible journey I had to share? Want to explore more riveting tales like mine? Subscribe, this journey does not end here.